Alrighty. I think we are live here on the channel. Um, so yeah, we're live. Here. Let me get some stuff pulled up here. But we will get into things here in a second. We'll close out these tabs because I don't need them open right now. But how is everybody doing on this lovely, lovely? Hold on, I'm checking something real quick. But how's everybody doing on this lovely Friday evening? We're gonna go over the SPC outlooks here. We do have a very large enhanced risk for severe weather, a pretty decently large one at that, for parts of the Ohio Valley going into the mid-Mississippi Valley as well, such as most of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, a lot of Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, middle and western Tennessee, central western Kentucky, central and southwest Indiana, and southeast Illinois, and as well as southeastern Missouri as well. Very large enhanced risk once again. This afternoon they did a huge expansion on that enhanced. It was like a very small enhanced risk earlier today, but they have since expanded that very substantially, which is kind of concerning. But we're going to take a look at model guidance to, see what could be possibly the main threats and all that. But we do have a 45 Sig 1 risk. Now, in case y'all didn't know, usually you may be saying to yourself, Sam, why is this not moderate? Why is this not moderate? Well, of course, we have the new system that came out about, I'd say, a week and a half ago. And since there's been Sig 1, Sig 2, Sig 3, and basically we don't get Sig 2. Hold on, let me say this correctly so I don't spit something out that's totally wrong. We get on day 3 outlooks, the probabilistic outlooks, there is no Sig 2 or Sig 1 moderate. You cannot get a Sig 1 moderate for the day 3 outlook. Day 2 you can't get a Sig 1 moderate, which is why you can kind of see that Sig is Sig 1 right there, and then Sig 2, there's no Sig 2 in place right now. So even though you see a 45 Sig 1, that doesn't mean it's a moderate risk. Some people may get confused because of last year, or we had a lot of moderate risk last year. We had a lot of 45 significant wind threats last year, so that might be confusing a little bit to the general public. But anyways, wow, 17 million people, or just above 17.5 million people, are in this enhanced risk for severe weather, and then 38 million for that slight risk, and then over 50 million for that day 3 risk as well for the marginal. So very widespread area for severe weather that could be potentially significant in some areas. We're going to go over that here, looking at the models here in just a second, but we're going to go over the discussion here. A widespread damaging wind event with some tornado threat is likely on late Sunday afternoon through Sunday night from northeastern Texas to southwest lower Michigan. The greatest wind threat appears to be from northeast Arkansas and western Tennessee to southern Indiana during the evening and overnight hours. But let's see. I'm actually going to share this stream on Twitter, so just give me a second before I read more. Copy link. Just give me a second here, guys. If I can actually paste it. There you go. There you go. Come on. I'm sorry if this is taking a long time, but there you go. Post. There you go. But if you guys are just tuning in, we're going to be doing a briefing here. We're going to finish reading this discussion. So, my goodness, the synopsis. That's a tongue twister. Say that 10 times fast. It's impossible. What the heck? Okay, a 100+ knot mid-level jet will lead to rapid amplification as it rounds the base of the mid-level trough across the Central Plains on Sunday. As the associated surface cyclone moves northeastward throughout the day, a strong low-level moisture transport will occur across the warm sector. This will result in weak to potentially moderate instability ahead of the cold front Sunday afternoon. This cold front will accelerate east-southeastward from the Midwest to the mid-Mississippi Valley during the afternoon and from Ohio to western Georgia, eastern Alabama by Monday morning. Let's see here. Despite dew points only increasing to the mid to upper 50s, a very favorable kinematic environment will be in place with a 70-knot low-level jet. That is insane. That is actually insane. A 70-knot low-level jet and a nearly 125-knot mid-level jet by Monday morning. My goodness, that is insane. That is high. That is a strong low-level jet. For instance, 70-knot low-level jets, those are pretty uncommon. That is a very strong low-level jet there. 70-knot low-level jet. For instance, it only takes a 35, even 30-knot low-level jet for a tornado threat. Depending on your thermodynamics as well. But let's keep reading here. Given the wind field, any instability combined with the strong frontal forcing will be sufficient for a powerful QLCS during the evening and overnight hours. This squall line will likely have widespread 60+ mile/hour wind gusts with some stronger 75+ mile/hour wind gusts possible. In addition, very long hodographs with 200+ meters squared per second squared of 0 to 500 meter SRH will support a threat for line-embedded tornadoes, some of which could be strong, so they do mention a potential strong tornado threat. Additionally, the strong shear may also allow for some embedded supercells, also depicted by the 12Z RRFS model, which also may lead to a locally greater tornado threat. Prefrontal development cannot be ruled out, especially from northeast Arkansas to southern Illinois at the nose of the 500 millibar jet and the northern extent of the richer low-level moisture. This scenario is more uncertain but could pose a greater tornado threat if it were to materialize. So lower Mississippi Valley to southeast. Squall line will form during the afternoon, perhaps with some initial supercell hail threat across Arkansas and northeast Texas, and then move northeastward through the overnight period. I just want to see. Okay, good. The strongest low mid-level wind field will remain north of this region. However, greater instability will compensate and should maintain the damaging squall line through the overnight hours. The greatest STP values within the entire risk area are forecasted between 03Z and 12Z from western Tennessee to central Mississippi and northwest Alabama. Therefore, expect a QLCS tornado threat to accompany the damaging wind threat through the overnight and early morning period. Wow. And then the Florida, Alabama coast, toward the end of the period, rich low-level moisture will begin to move inland across the Florida panhandle into southern Alabama. Within this zone, a discrete convection may develop after 08Z. If this were to occur, strong shear would support supercells capable of tornadoes. So that's your day 3 discussion there. Like I said, a pretty large enhanced risk for severe weather there. We've been just seeing some uptrends. Okay, day 4. Now, I feel like day 4 may have become more significant than day 3. And we're going to talk about that as we look at models here in a bit. But we're going to go over the discussion here. Wow. Look at all these people. Over 50 million people are either in the slight risk or the enhanced risk for severe weather along the East Coast. But like I said, enhanced risk yet again for day 4 as well. That would be Monday. Wow. This is rare, guys. I already knew about this, but that, you don't see that often. You don't see the SPC randomly issue outlooks that are like a few days out like that. They amended to expand day 4 Monday threat areas. This is a special update. That is actually pretty concerning. Let's read the updated discussion for day 4. The majority of the deterministic and ensemble model guidance agree on a deep mid-level trough and associated cold front that will move eastward across the Appalachian Mountains to the Atlantic coast by Tuesday morning. Severe storms could be ongoing at the beginning of the period along northeast Gulf Coast into Georgia. The warm sector, I just lost my place. There you go, I found it. The warm sector, characterized by a boundary layer dew points in the 60s, will expand northward through the day as far north as Pennsylvania. Though clouds could limit downstream surface heating somewhat, very strong wind profiles and focused forcing for ascent will favor a continuation of convection along the front, as well as prefrontal convection with potential to produce relatively widespread damaging wind gusts and several tornadoes. Significant severe winds and potential for a few tornadoes will develop Monday over parts of the Carolinas Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, we already read all that. So, let's hop into models here. Already got the 18Z GFS, 18Z NAM, so we could take a look at those as well. We don't have the HRRR just yet, so we're going to have to wait for that data to come in tomorrow. It only goes out 48 hours, or 48 frames, I should say. We will actually take a look at the GFS first, and we're going to be taking a look at the 500 millibar jet here. So, as we go into early Sunday morning, this is going to be a very fast. This is going to be a very fast ejecting trough here. Like this thing's going to be like fast. The ejection, everything, it's gonna be fast for this trough right here. So it's gonna dig down off the northern interior of the country there. Around early Sunday morning, we're gonna have a very subtle trough, but it's gonna amplify as we get later into the daytime. And as we go towards midday, early afternoon, you can clearly see more of an amplification process with this pretty strong 500 millibar trough here. This is the 500 millibar wind speed, so this is basically upper level. If we go in time here around peak of where the severe weather is supposed to be occurring, we're going to have a very strong neutrally tilted trough, but a little bit negative, as you can see, as we go very early Monday morning, like we're talking midnight, very early Monday morning, we're going to be having a more of a negatively tilted trough. So that's going to actually increase the severe weather potential. As you can see, we got big time divergence here which is going to be available for storms to grow and tap into that whatever environment that those storms can tap into essentially. This is going to be a very fast moving line of storms that will develop, and my goodness, this jet streak is insane. I can't even put into words like, bro. That right there is actually insane. But this is 500 millibars, so this isn't low level. But as you can see, around Monday late morning into midday here, we are going to be seeing a widespread area of 100 plus knots of. I mean, shoot. Hold on. I'm gonna go to the. I'm curious. Hold on. Don't. Okay. Actually, is there 700 millibars more stronger? No, they're not. But we're gonna go to 850 actually. Let's go back. That scared me. But as you can see, that low pressure is gonna be moving off the Rocky Mountains early Sunday morning. So early Sunday morning, we're gonna have a increasing or deepening low pressure, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna pull up whatever instability, whatever moisture it can pull up from the Gulf of Mexico. It's not gonna be strong, but the further south you get, the stronger the thermodynamics will be. As you get farther north, not really. We're gonna have limited moisture for parts of Illinois and Indiana, but if that can uptrend, we're gonna be having a huge problem on our hands because this is a very, very kinematic packed environment here. I mean, this is 21Z Sunday. We have a widespread area of 50 to 60 knots of a level jet here. That is a very widespread area and a very strong area at that. And our low pressure, I'm curious. Take a look at temperatures. Maybe that'll give me a hint here. No. What about vertical velocity? Will that show anything? No. What about dew points? Would that show anything? Nope. 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 What if I go back here? Is that gonna show? I don't think it's on here. I just want to see how deep the low pressure is, like the millibars. But it doesn't show apparently, so that's cool. Anyways, as we go to later into Sunday night, we have a very widespread area of 50 to even 60 knots of your low-level jet, which is very strong. And we have a lot of forcing too. I've seen people on Twitter say, is this going to be the next March 14th? Personally, this probably, I mean, it won't even be able to reach that. For one thing, our forcing for ascent is so strong that once storms fire, they're going to quickly grow upscale. Like, they're quickly going to grow upscale. Like, our forcing is really, really strong out here. This is a very kinematic packed environment when it comes to storms trying to take advantage of that environment. And that's why we're seeing damaging winds probably be the main hazard, followed by tornadoes and hail. But as we go into early Monday morning, that's insane. That is, my goodness, 60 knots, widespread area of 60 knots, stretching from Pennsylvania all the way down to South Carolina and Georgia. That is insane. That's crazy. If you take a look at dew points, actually. This is 18Z GFS, by the way, in case y'all were wondering. So, as we go into Sunday evening, we're going to have very limited moisture being pulled up here. The area I would keep an eye on is western Tennessee. We have barely enough dew points, as well as if I can go to Cape. Cape could be stronger, but like I said, this is going to be a very kinematic packed environment. It won't take a lot of Cape for this kind of kinematic environment to do some crazy stuff. Remember, I mean, 500 joules per kilogram of Cape, that is certainly enough for something crazy to occur because we have so much wind shear. Like, this is going to be a very packed wind shear environment, guys. And then as we go into, I mean, the GFS is kind of it's kind of weak on the supercell composite, but we'll take a look at the NAM as well. But as you can see, the hotspot there is northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas there, according to the GFS for Sunday night. And as we go later into the overnight hours, I still wouldn't rule out a QLCS tornado threat down here in Alabama and Mississippi. Certainly something that we could keep an eye on there. But as we go into later into Monday, we're going to have some severe weather come pick back up here for South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, even Georgia as well, and then the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Now, let's take a look at the NAM model. Jump scare. Anyways, let's actually zoom in here. I don't even know if I can actually find a good sector. I guess we'll use this sector. If we take a look at the wind speeds, or actually, zoom back out here. If we take a look at the 500 millibar wind speeds. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, my bad. But, what is up, Airborne? Welcome to the stream, but I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I will be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry for the patience, but I'm back here. Anyways, what's up, Airborne? I don't know if I welcomed you, but I have welcomed you now. Anyways, as we take a look at the 500 millibar wind speeds from the NAM, you can obviously see we're going to have a trough come down across the Rocky Mountains, and later into Sunday, our trough is going to amplify a lot. Our low pressure is going to get stronger, and that'll essentially increase our severe weather threat going into late Sunday to very, very early Monday morning. And as you can see, that trough tries to get negatively tilted, and it does indeed slightly get negatively tilted here. You can kind of see the winds trying to change directions here with height. So as we go later into Monday, you could see, my goodness, that is very strong. Does it get stronger? What the freak? Oh my gosh, it does. 143. That's what I got. At the end of the run there, it shows 150. That is very strong. But that's 500 millibars. That's like very high. But if we take a look at the 850, yeah, Monday looks to be a big problem. Let's go to the southeast. I want to take a few soundings. Actually, screw that. Let's go to the mid-Atlantic. Let's see. Wow, bro. Just me and 8 supercell composite, no biggie. What are SIG torque parameters looking like? Yippee. Wow. Yeah, we could be talking about a pretty solid tornado threat out here. Yep. Let me pull sounding out here. Do you think Huntsville could see a stronger tornado Sunday? We will get to. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That right there is a very, very, very concerning. If we see any prefrontal convection develop out here, we're going to be talking about a strong to intense tornado threat. Our shear is so strong in the low levels. Our cape is very sufficient. Our elapse rates are decent. Bro, our storm slinky is perfect. Our hodograph is perfect. We do have some dry air intrusion in the 750, or I said 750, 700 millibar level. But that won't really hurt too much because since we have so much shear in the low levels, it won't take too much for a tornado to produce. But that is actually pretty concerning. But Huntsville, Alabama. Let's take a look at that. So Sunday, we'll take a look at the NAM as well. We're already on it. Huntsville, Alabama. Alright. Let's see. Oh yeah. Actually, let's take a look at the SPC outlook here and see where you're at for Sunday. Yeah. Are you in that enhanced risk? Yeah, you are. Barely. You are barely in that enhanced risk right there. Which could mean you guys could probably see a strong line of storms capable of widespread 60 mile per hour wind gusts, possibly 70. Isolated 80 wouldn't be ruled out because this line is going to be so strong. Pretty good cape to work with, around 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,300 there. You're gonna have a very good environment for QLCS tornado threats. So I'd be having ways to receive alerts because we could be talking about a pretty solid tornado threat and a very damaging wind event as well. Um, our shear's just gonna be so strong. Yeah, look at that. 300 surface, 0 to surface, 1 kilometer. I don't even know what I just said. I just baffled words. That is insane. But I do think Monday is the more concerning day. Not to say Sunday isn't. Sunday is very concerning. Monday has my most concern right now due to that trough becoming more negatively tilted. Wind shear actually gets stronger Monday than it does Sunday. I'm also gonna be watching my area locally. I might go backyard storm chasing. In other words, local storm chasing for this. Because my area, I do want to pull a sound in my area actually. Pulling over my house because why not? Whoa! My goodness! I'm in a PDS tour. That is insane. Who would have thought Sam's house would be in a PDS tour? I mean, good God, bro. 10 supercell composite over my house? Are we serious? That photograph looks very good. You got due southerlies to due southwesterlies. Yeah, you got a lot of churning with height in your low levels, and that is very present there on your surface to 1 kilometer shear. Cape is very good. Lapse rate's very good. 3 Cape, very good. I don't know what could be wrong with this. Your storm slinky's a little wonky there, but my goodness, this is. I mean, your LCLs and LFCs are so much together, so we're gonna see a lot of surface-based convection out here. Good dew point temp spread. My good. I don't know what. I mean, your effective inflow is 473. That is like, and that is very present on your Hodo, right there. You got your winds churning with height as well. That is a very concerning sounding for my area. This is gonna be for like midday Monday. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah, guys. Monday. Look at these short waves. You could see. My goodness, these are very subtle short waves. If we see like a semi-discrete mode, this could potentially be a very dangerous tornado threat. Because we got a lot of cape to work with, even with a very high cape, or I said high cape, high kinematic environment. Are you gonna chase? Actually, I can't even see the whole message. There you go. I might local. It might be a little too dangerous for me. Because this isn't. I'm like barely. I'm like not even enhanced, but I will probably get put in enhanced risk. A moderate risk is increasingly likely out here for both days actually, but Monday could probably be the more likely case for a moderate risk. Like I said, this is a very packed environment out here. What does this show? Jeez, bro. My goodness. What does this model show? Okay, can't look at that. I can look at Cape, but not. Wait, actually. What is it? I don't want to look at that. Yeah, we're gonna get the HRRR and RAP model guidance for both Sunday and especially Monday as well. So I'll be live tomorrow. I mean, look at that digging. Look at that amplification of that trough there. Sunday and Monday look very concerning, especially Monday. Monday has my most concern, like I said. But if we take a look at the long range here, as this trough moves out, we're going to be entering a very, very quiet stage here of not only for severe weather, but also weather in general. We're gonna have a ridge, a very strong ridge, uh, take place here in the western, and that's basically gonna block any troughing, for any for that to bring any severe weather across the United States, and that will probably break down as we go into. Um, so a lot of next week we're gonna be quiet, but that's soon to break down. We're gonna get more troughing returning. Still, you could kind of see that high pressure sitting there, but that has gotten considerably more south. Um, do you want to see? Because why not? I'm gonna be very quiet after this severe weather threat moves out for Monday and Sunday. What's up, Pete? Welcome to the stream. I wish I could pin your message, but where would you draw a moderate for Sunday? Actually, let's go to weather-wise, because I don't have a drawing tool pulled up. Hopefully it doesn't lag. But if I were to draw the moderate risk, to go to categorical. Hold on. But like I said, if I were to draw the moderate risk, if it were to be issued, I would honestly have to go this area right here. That area right there. And that does kind of correlate to your... Okay. Probabilistic. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'd probably draw my moderate risk for wind. I wouldn't really do that for tornadoes because we're going to be such a... storm mode's going to be such an issue. But strong tornadoes and embedded tornadoes cannot be ruled out. That's why I would draw my moderate risk in for... Also, how is this comparing to March 15th? Yeah, no. This is no comparison whatsoever. March 15th was much more of a favorable environment for discrete supercells to produce violent tornadoes. March 14th is a little similar because you had strong forcing. But yeah. Hold on. Can you give me like 5 minutes? Like 5 minutes? Okay. But yeah, anyways, I don't see any comparison whatsoever. But if I were to draw a moderate for Monday, I'd honestly have to go this area right here. Oh, messed up. Generally in that area. Oh, I messed that up, but I'd have to, hold on. I would honestly have to draw a moderate for this area right here. Maybe a little bit smaller than that. But, anyways, I'm gonna go eat dinner, guys. I will probably be live tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream. I know I've been live for 40 minutes, but I just wanted to go over the severe weather potential over the next, or actually Sunday and Monday, because those both days look very significant, especially Monday, like I said. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Pete, and thank you, Airborne, for tuning into the stream, and thank you for thank you for some other people that also joined into the stream. So anyways, I'm gonna go eat dinner. But I'll be live tomorrow, like I said. Probably the same time. We're gonna get a lot more model data. So, yeah. it'll probably be a much longer stream as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream, and I will see y'all in the next piece of content I put out there. Peace.